Out. He was free. Out of Plaid territory, Ghost knew there were other gangs, but Shivers called them farmer gangs, and that sounded pretty tame. The Yellowcaps controlled a lot of the farm gangs, with some help from Guard. It may have been cold, but it was dark. If he was doing a longer raid, he would have holed up somewhere with his companions till daylight. Normal people preferred daylight. The sky was black with treetops along the horizon, with a deeper starry blue above. The road was bright, shiny with leftover rain. It smelled like lichen and pine sap. Tree cover seemed to add warmth that wasn't there around the Shiver compound. He could feel the creatures in shades in the forest, watching him. Wild dogs and raccoons in the city had multiplied, but he usually didn't have trouble with them. He had a nothing-to-see-here kind of vibe. He looked around into the woods, feeling them watching him. This was the point where Ray would elbow him and tell him not to look. He was so tired, but he couldn't bring himself to even slow down. Someone might still be following him. If they had a bike, that would be even worse. Trees cleared as he came up a hill. He moved to the side, keeping closer to the forest. He needed a club, but he hadn't found anything the right size or weight to be useful. All he had was that knife. There was an old building at the top of the hill. A diner. He frowned. Shivers had talked about a diner in the south they used as a base for farm raids. This might be it. He'd better stay away. They typically kept sentries close and knifed any stragglers that got close. He crept into the forest, opening his eyes wide to find a path. There wasn't one. His steps crackled at every branch. He wasn't good at woods. Maybe he could just pass them on the road. The road was flooded ahead, at the bottom of the hill. If he got his feet wet in this cold, he could get hypothermia, even with the blanket. He pursed his lips and sighed. He glanced back at the diner. It would be a good shelter against the wind. He drew the knife and looked at it. He pressed it into his palm gently. It felt good and scary. And bad. He wanted it to hurt, but he couldn't afford to do that. He closed his eyes, then looked up to the stars. "Do you like watching this?" he said to them, then sighed. He took a back way under partial cover to at least recon the place. He heard nothing at first. Shiver sentries were usually close together and talked a lot, so that was a good sign. There was a dumpster enclosure behind the diner, and he heard nothing near. Oh, there they were. Glancing back out, he actually saw a couple of sentries in the light, standing close to each other and probably facing the woods. He let out his breath. Right. Other people were so scared of the dark it was like a disability. He climbed up onto the dumpster very slowly. Rustling and scampering told him he'd spooked some creature away, but not too scarily, which was good. The Shivers wouldn't think someone could hold these isolation poses on just fingers and toes long enough to prevent creaking. From the dumpster, he crept onto the shaded side of the roof. His white clothes and body would make a huge contrast against the roof and the sky right now. He could hear them inside. "Get your toes out of my space," someone yelled. Then a series of grunts and cries. "Ouch, I'm sorry, damn!" "Good." There was a pause. "Whiskey?" "Hell yes." Typical Shivers. He climbed back down. Finding a dry corner, he opened the blanket and climbed inside. It wasn't enough. Too cold. He couldn't sleep. It was fatally cold out here.